It's 10 a.m. on the 12th of July 2025. In Starobilsk, just north of the Idar River, Ukrainian drone operators lock onto a Russian convoy rumbling along a farm road. Ural trucks packed with ammunition grind forward, guarded but unaware. In a dim control room miles away, hands tighten on joysticks. An FPV drone fitted with a PG-7 VL warhead spins up. Seconds stretch, then release. The feed jolts as the first strike slams a truck. A fireball lifts and throws shrapnel across the column. Alarms, shouts, brake lights. Soldiers spill into the ditch. The second FPV is already diving, engine buzzing like a wasp. Overwatch from a Mavic 3 marks targets, drivers trying to turn around, riflemen waving frantically. The second impact hammers the lead truck. Another blast. Black plume. The road becomes a burning wall that traps the rest. Ammunition cooks off in waves, each blast feeding the next. In 3 minutes, the line is a single furnace. Radios crackle, dust shakes from ceiling panels, and the screen blooms orange as the convoy disappears. Starobilsk is not just another small town. It sits on the northern edge of the Idar River, a link in Russia's supply chain to the Kupiansk front. Every truck that rolls through carries shells, rockets, and the power to shape battles miles away. For Moscow, it's a lifeline. For Kyiv, it's a target too valuable to ignore. That July morning, the Ukrainian 14th Tactical Drone Regiment took the shot. Their mission was clear: break the convoy before it reached the artillery lines. One strike here meant fewer rockets pounding Kharkiv suburbs tomorrow. And every blast wasn't just metal and fire, it was pressure on Russia's logistics system. Each Ural 4320 carried tons of ammunition. 5 trucks meant nearly 50 tons of shells and rockets. Losing them in minutes was more than an accident. It was a sudden blackout in the Russian war machine. Without steady flow, artillery batteries go quiet, pushes stall, and commanders are forced to improvise with half-empty magazines. For the soldiers on those trucks, the ambush was chaos. Smoke swallowed the road, explosions rolled like thunder, and men who trained to fire guns were left running from drones they could barely see. For Ukrainian operators, it was the opposite. A calm screen, a steady signal, and one chance after another to tilt the balance. The tactical result was brutal. Russia's supply line north of the Idar snapped for nearly a week. Units down the line felt the silence in their guns. Ukraine didn't just stop trucks, they pulled firepower straight out of enemy hands. So here's the clash: Ukraine's drones versus Russia's convoys. If you think drones will keep dominating, hit 1 inch the comments. If you believe convoys can adapt and push through, hit 9. And don't forget to subscribe, next strikes will decide how long this balance lasts. 10:05 a.m. The smoke still hangs over the convoy. Ukrainian operators scan the feed. Thermal shows men crawling from ditches, some trying to salvage crates from the fire. But the real danger is movement on the road behind them. New shapes, more trucks pushing forward, unaware the lead element is gone. The commander doesn't wait. He orders another FPV into the air. The drone roars low, camera shaking as it clears treetops. Seconds later, the convoy behind the flames comes into view. The operators lock on a fuel truck, knowing one strike there will spread fire faster than any shell. First impact, fuel truck erupts, fire racing along the road. The Russians scramble, vehicles brake hard, forming a jam. Radios buzz with panic. The Ukrainians switch tactics. The Mavic 3 rises higher, tagging targets for artillery. Coordinates are fed straight into tubes waiting across the river. 10:12 a.m. The first howitzer round screams in. It lands short but close enough to scatter soldiers. Seconds later, the second round hits the convoy. Flames leap, smoke thickens, and the sound rolls like thunder. For the Russians, there is no clear front or rear, everywhere is danger. More FPVs launch. One slams into the rear escort vehicle, tearing off armor plating. Another dives straight into a truck stacked with rockets. The blast is so strong it shakes the operator's feed, static cutting through the signal. Yet the screen clears, and what remains is twisted metal. The convoy is now a graveyard. Survivors run, some toward the fields, some back down the road. But the artillery keeps coming, paced and steady. Every escape route is zeroed in. Ukrainian radios are calm, clipped, efficient. Adjust 5 meters, fire again. Each strike pushes the Russians deeper into disarray. By 10:20 a.m., resistance is scattered. A few rifles pop into the sky. Desperate shots at drones too small to hit. Ammunition burns. Trucks collapse in on themselves. And the road is sealed by fire. What began as a resupply mission has turned into a trap with no exit. For Kyiv, this is not just a tactical win. It's proof the new doctrine works. Combine drones, recon, and artillery into one seamless strike package. For Moscow, it's a wake-up call. Columns that once moved with confidence now face ambushes that feel impossible to predict. 10:25 a.m., the battlefield shifts. Smoke columns tower into the sky, marking where the convoy once stood. Yet the fight isn't over. Russian reinforcements edge forward from the south, pushing cautiously through side roads, determined to reopen the lifeline. Ukrainian operators spot them on thermal. The first drones dive, but these troops are ready. Rifle fire snaps upward, tracer rounds cutting the sky. Several drones fall, black trails spiraling into the fields. But not all are stopped. One FPV makes it through, detonating beside a lead vehicle and halting the column. The Russians tighten formation, turning trucks into barricades. They fire upward, spraying trees and air alike. It's desperate but effective. The airspace grows dangerous, losses mount, and each drone risks being cut down before reaching target. The Ukrainians adjust. Operators shift flight paths, skimming drones just above ground to avoid fire. Gunners on the Russian side struggle to track them, pivoting too slowly. A drone slips beneath the arc of fire and slams into a truck loaded with crates. Another blast dust, shrapnel, confusion. The fight grinds into minutes of pressure. Neither side yields. Russia throws more bodies and bullets. Ukraine throws precision and patience. Each interception buys Moscow seconds. Each strike cuts another hole in their line. Russian jammers switch on, pouring static into the band. Control links wobble. One FPV veers off and pops in a field. The Ukrainians counter-hop frequencies, push a relay drone higher, and the picture steadies. Another run threads a hedgerow and punches through a cab door. Drivers bail as flames crawl under the tarp. Medics crawl from a van, dragging a wounded gunner behind a tire wall. A drone hovers, waits, then dives. By 10:35 a.m., the battle is a test of endurance. Guns roar, drones buzz, artillery flashes in the distance. The road is no longer supply, it's survival. One side believes weight of numbers will hold. The other trusts that technology and precision will always break through. And here's the question for you watching. If you think Russia's mass will eventually crush Ukraine's drones, type 9 inches the comments. If you believe the swarm will keep breaking convoys apart, type 1. Don't forget to hit subscribe. This clash is only getting sharper. 10:40 a.m. Just as the fight seems to settle, the unexpected hits. New drones appear on Ukrainian screens. Smaller, faster, hugging the ground. Russian quadcopters packed with explosives, launched from hidden trucks. Unlike convoys, these threats skim low through tree lines. Hard to track, harder to kill. Operators react fast. Standard FPVs are too slow. The commander calls for reserves. Loitering munitions already circling. A relay climbs higher, links steady. The first loitering drone dives on a launcher truck, detonating in a fireball. But more enemy drones slip out, streaking toward Ukrainian artillery. The fight flips. Ukraine, the hunter all morning, is now hunted. Radios crackle. Inbound drones. Close. Screens switch from attack to defense. One FPV is redirected, smashing the drone midair, a rare intercept. Another misses. The feed goes blank. A single jam could unravel the shield. Pressure spikes. For artillery crews across the river, seconds mean survival. 2 drones could erase a battery. Operators clench jaws, knowing every command decides lives. Crews ram shells into breaches while spotters scan the sky, counting the beats between buzz and blast. One loitering munition streaks low, exploding a Russian drone short of the guns. Another Ukrainian drone dives too late, the enemy slips past, detonating in a tree line. Branches rain down, earth shakes, comms spit static. The message is clear: Russia is adapting, and their counterstrikes are real. This is the war inside the war. Swarm versus swarm, ambush against counter-ambush. The front belongs to neither. It's a race to surprise faster, strike sharper, and adapt before the other can breathe. 10:55 a.m. The battlefield is choking on fire and smoke. Both sides have thrown everything: convoys shattered, artillery pounding, drones dueling midair. Yet neither breaks. Then the final wave comes. Russian drones, larger and heavier, rise from the tree line. They're armed with bigger warheads, enough to crack bunkers or erase an entire battery. Ukrainian operators brace. The last line of defense goes live. Long-range loitering munitions swing back, FPVs rearmed, and ground gunners point barrels skyward. Everyone knows, if these drones land, the morning's victory turns hollow. The first Russian drone dives. A Ukrainian FPV charges straight at it, colliding in midair, both exploding in a spray of fragments. The second slips through, forcing a loitering munition into a desperate chase. Operators ride the feed, guiding it meter by meter. At the last instant, the warhead connects. The sky flashes white, but more are coming. The third drone cuts low over the fields. Gunners on the ground open up tracer streak, a wall of fire. The drone shudders, smoke trailing, but it keeps coming. 50 meters, then 30. At 10 meters, an FPV slams into its side. Fireball. The blast knocks operators from their chairs. Static filling screens, but the line holds. 10:59 a.m. The last drone makes its run. Bigger, faster, its camera fixed on a Ukrainian artillery battery. Crews on the ground keep loading shells, refusing to scatter. The operators know they have one shot left. They launch a reserve drone, guiding it head-on. The feeds blur two shapes rushing together. Impact. The explosion rips the horizon, shockwave rolling through smoke. When the dust clears, the battery is still there. Silence follows. Engines burn in the distance, fields glow with fire, and the last Russian strike lies broken in the dirt. Against numbers, against pressure, Ukraine held the line. For a beat, no one speaks. Status lights blink green, crews exhale. One last ranging round thumps out proof of life. Far off, a wrecked truck cooks off. The echo answers. And now it's your call. If you think Ukraine's stand here proves drones can always turn the tide, type 1" the comments. If you think Russia's mass will keep pushing until something breaks, type 9. And hit subscribe because the next fight will be even closer. 11:15 a.m. The field is silent except for crackling fires. What began as a supply run is now a blackened graveyard of trucks and steel. For Ukraine, the result is undeniable. 50 tons of Russian ammunition erased, artillery batteries starved for days, and one of the busiest supply routes north of the Idar cut off. Yet victory carries weight. Drones were lost, operators stretched to exhaustion, and every successful strike proved how fragile the balance island. Each FPV costs a fraction of a Russian truck, but each launch also drains resources Kyiv struggles to replace. The war of attrition is no longer measured only in shells. It is measured in circuit boards, batteries, and pilots who can fly for hours without blinking. For Russia, the blow is sharp, but not final. Convoys can be rebuilt, routes diverted, supplies split into smaller packets. But each change makes the system slower, weaker, more expensive. Commanders now face a dilemma. Mass convoys risk annihilation. Scattered shipments risk starvation. The enemy adapts, but every adaptation cuts deeper into its own strength. Strategically, this fight proves drones aren't just tools. They're the new backbone of modern war. Cheap, fast, and precise, they can cripple divisions without ever firing a traditional shell. Yet they also invite an arms race. Russia's counter-drones today were crude. Tomorrow, they'll be sharper. Ukraine's swarms today are effective. Tomorrow, they'll need upgrades to survive. For allies watching, the message is double-edged. Ukraine can hold the line, but at a cost that grows each month. Russia can still strike back, but only by bleeding its own logistics. The question is no longer who won this morning, it's who can adapt faster for the battles that follow. And that's where you weigh in. If you believe Ukraine's innovation will keep outpacing Russia, type 1 inch the comments. If you think Russia's scale will eventually grind down these tactics, type 9. And make sure to subscribe. The next clash may decide more than a single road. It may decide the shape of the war.